This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and this is part 3. And I'm back with Adrian talking about his life as an actor. Go away. Yeah, not go away, go ahead.
Okay,
I don't know why I said that.
well, I think when we last tailed off, I was talking about this play for which I had to obtain a coffin. And, well, I did that.
Oh, yeah,
I
the
learned
coffin.
an awful lot about it. In fact, the cast got me to sit in it, which I was incredibly phobic about. Up to that point, I haven't been able to touch anything dead. You know, when pets die, couldn't pick them up to bury them. I had to shovel them up and put them in the hole in the ground without physical
I've interviewed
contact.
an undertaker, by the way.
Have you?
A German one.
Yes, I've interviewed a couple of undertakers in recent years. Anyway, after that play was a moderate success.
Right.
And then after that first year out of drama school, the reality of an actor's life started to sink in, where I was out of work, didn't know what to do, applied for anything and everything. I even got offered a pornography movie that was advertised in the stage, but very subtly worded.
Oh, what did the words say?
They said that we're remaking famous films and are looking for new actors. And it turned out it was pornographic versions of classic movies.
Which movies?
Things like the Maltese Falcon and things like that. Real, cinema history.
Yes.
And they were remaking the classics.
So you turned that one down, did you?
Yes, because that's the sort of thing that comes back and haunts you later.
Yeah.
So that's something I have never contemplated.
Right.
Anyway, I did gardening jobs, interior and exterior decorating, just to get a few pennies in. And then when things got really bad, I went to the dole office and signed on.
Because you were resting. A lot of people went into antiques.
Yes,
because I know
a number of them that went into waiting on tables.
Yes.
Which I have done.
Yes. With panache.
Yeah, in fact, I did a silver service waiting on at Pinewood Studios.
Oh, wow!
That's a story in itself, because I actually threatened to tip someone's pudding over them. But that's a long story.
Oh, well, we'll have to.
With the blessing of the events manager, I have to say.
Oh, I've heard of people spitting in the soup.
I'm pretty sure it goes on. Knowing those chefs that I've met. Yes. The worst thing you do in a restaurant is criticise the chef or his cooking.
Right.
Because if you've got another course to come, you'll be consuming more than you expect.
Maybe arsenic. Arsenic and old lace.
Yes. There's an old saying which I've noticed on the Bear Public House in Brighton, which I absolutely adore it. Everybody brings joy to this pub. Some when they enter and some when they leave. And yeah, that is definitely the case with some of the jobs I've done.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Where were we? We were talking about my
acting.
I went to the dole office
to
sign on.
Yes.
And
what year would that be? 80s? Are we still in the 80s?
We're still in the 80s, the end of the 80s.
Right.
And
were you in Brighton or in London?
I was still in London at this point.
Okay.
And the young lady I spoke to, and I use the word lady very, very loosely, was the most arrogant individual I've ever met. And treated me like I was only worth scraping from the bottom of her shoe on the curb's edge.
Oh dear.
And she gave me such a hard time and saying, you have to take anything that comes along, even if it's an engineering job. I said, well, I'm not an engineer. They said, even if it's an engineering job, you go for the training day. Otherwise we'll just eliminate your claim completely.
Oh, what a bitch.
And I said, can I ask you something personal? And she said, yes. I said, is your job hard? And she said, yes, especially with people like you coming in. And I said, okay, what do you do to unwind? She said, I don't see that that's relevant. I said, it's very relevant. Just go with me for a moment. What do you do to unwind at the end of the day? And she said, I go home, pour myself a glass of wine or two, then sit in front of the television and relax. I said, so you expect people like me to help you unwind at the end of the day, but you won't lift a bloody finger to help us? And she said, if you've got a complaint about it, go to your local MP.
And did you?
No.
And did you go for any of these interviews and training courses?
No, but even then they expected you to do a job search diary. And yes, I would write many, many letters and write them into my diary saying that I've done this, received no letter or replies. Yeah. And that seemed to satisfy them, but they were still trying to channel me into something that I hadn't been trained for. Right. Just to massage the figures for the next general election.
Yes, I understand, yes. Yes.
So I've been down that road several times now, and along with estate agents, I cannot stand the job seekers allowance people.
Right.
Because I've also looked for many a home through estate agents and been charged through the nose.
Right, right. Oh.
But no, I did get acting work. I finally found myself an agent, and my first agent was rather hopeless. They sent me for something that's completely not in my remit.
Were you in Spotlight?
Yes, I was.
You had your photograph in Spotlight?
Yes, I had my photograph in Spotlight. But this is later on. You learn these little tricks, you know.
Yes,
and it's not cheap being an actor, you know.
Yeah. Well, you've got to have good photographs taken.
You've got to have good photographs taken. You've got to pay out to put yourself out there. There are some unscrupulous agents want fees to have you on their books, which Equity told me under no circumstances ever do.
Right.
You do not pay to work. You work to get paid.
Right.
And you have to have a basic costume wardrobe as an actor.
Oh, what does that consist of?
Tuxedo, shoes that can be fitted into any period.
That's interesting.
So you get a tax allowance on items
yes,
that you buy for
I know
wardrobe.
that, yes, yes.
I also learnt
and
very
transport and so on?
Yeah, you can get...
Your expenses?
Exactly. And I also learnt very early on that it was also good to have a basic prop cupboard.
Okay.
Because when you're doing theatre, there's not a lot of money in the business unless you're a big celebrity name anyway.
Right.
But with theatre, they rely on the actors bringing in pieces that would fit into the play that you're particularly
And you've got
doing.
to learn how to make up as well.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
yeah.
And then wigs and all that sort of thing.
The lead actor in the Tripods told me all about makeup and skincare, because the thing that I'm sure that your viewers have had an experience where they've looked at the television and they thought, oh my goodness, hasn't he got old since he was last on? Well, part of that is the makeup being baked onto your skin by the hot lights. And in a film studio, the lights are far bigger than they are in a television studio. So it's like walking into a microwave oven on a film set.
I always remember many years ago in Milan, I was introduced to someone who was a well-known singer at the time called Bruno Lauzi. And I was taken to his apartment, and I was sitting next to him, and he was on television. He didn't look like the same person.
No.
And also I recall that he was quite pint-sized, and somehow with the camera angle, they'd made him taller. I know Alan Ladd used to stand on a box.
Now, you have interviewed Sasha Cooper.
I have.
And I'm doing a new television show with her, which I will get to later on. But there is a very interesting thing. The 3 cast members pose at the end of the opening titles.
Yes.
And we had to put Sasha on a box so that her head's the same level as us.
Oh, how
She's
interesting.
She's only 5 foot nothing.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, we'll come back to that in part 4. Thank you very much, Adrian.
You're very welcome.